Hello everyone. Today we will briefly describe McMahon Line. Okay. See, what is McMahon Line and where it is existing? Let's understand that first. McMahon Line is actually the boundary between British India and Tibet. In 1914, there was one convention, Simla Convention. In that Simla Convention, the representatives of British India, representative of Tibet, and representative of China too, they have exchanged notes and maps and agreed upon the Tibet and India border, right? Of course, condition was that China has to ratify that agreement, which China didn't do. So China, for all practical purposes, it was not a party to this agreement. Now, this entire stretch of boundary, starting from this place to this place, okay, of Arunachal Pradesh, up to the Arunachal Pradesh and Burma border junction. This entire stretch of border was discussed and agreed upon. Right? Now, let's also know in brief why it's named as McMahon Line. He was the Foreign Secretary of British India at that time and was the chief negotiator in that Simla summit of 1914. Now, let's talk only about McMahon Line. See, McMahon Line starts from the tri-junction of Bhutan, India and Tibet and goes up to Isuraja Pass of Burma. This place, right? Isuraja Pass of Burma. This McMahon Line is along the crest of eastern Himalayas. So this was agreed, signed documents. But now China is saying that they don't accept McMahon Line, and they say that at the time of the agreement, Tibet was not a sovereign country. So they didn't have the right to conclude any treaty. But that's not a fact, I'll tell you. See, and China claims that historically Tibet belonged to them. Okay? And how they trace it, I will tell you. It's very, actually they are contradicting their own statements. They are saying that historically Bhutan was under China right from Yuan dynasty. Once upon a time, Yuan dynasty ruled both China and Tibet, and that's a fact. See, Yuan dynasty, right? They ruled from 1271 to 1368. Before 1271, both Tibet and China were independent countries. During the time of Yuan dynasty, both China and Tibet were under Yuan dynasty. Actually, this Yuan dynasty is what? Not Chinese. Mongol dynasty. They are Mongolians. Mongol imperial dynasty. So historically, if you see, even this claim is also wrong, because Yuan dynasty is not a Chinese dynasty. Then came Ming dynasty. Then came Ming dynasty. They ruled from 1368 to 1464. Ming dynasty, of course, was a Han dynasty. Han means, Han is, they are, indigenous Chinese dynasty. In China, the majority of Chinese are of Han. They are Han people. So that dynasty ruled. But after that, what happened? After this period, right up to 1912, this dynasty ruled, Qing dynasty. And during Qing dynasty, both China and Tibet were under Qing dynasty. But what is Qing dynasty? It's a Manchu-led dynasty, not Chinese dynasty. Manchurian. We say the Manchurian. Okay. So it was a Manchu-led dynasty, Manchu imperial dynasty, up to 1912. After that, even Qing dynasty collapsed and Republic of China came into the picture. So Tibet all along was a separate country, independent country. And we never had, let me put it on record, we never had any borders with China ever. Yes, we had borders with Tibet only, and that was a very peaceful border, And Tibet was all along a theocratic state. They lived in peace. They believed in all peaceful negotiations, everything. Okay, they had never disturbed anybody. And moreover, between Tibet and India, the Himalaya was a big barrier. So that was probably one reason why there were no conflicts between Tibet and India. That could be one of the reasons. But basically, Tibet being a theocratic state was very peaceful. Now, all Chinese claims are proved to be wrong. But I tell you one thing, it's important to tell this particular point today. China shares land borders with 14 countries. Except 2 countries, they have made agreements with all the other, bordering countries on their own terms. We can conveniently call rather that China is a land mafia with everybody, with Burma, Thailand, Cambodia, all countries, even Mongolia. A great portion of Mongolia, China annexed. So that because of the hegemony, only the hegemony of China, they have expanded. And India is one country which is not, willing to settle this border issue with China. And that is the biggest reason for this Indo conflict. Now, this is all along the crest of Himalayas. Okay. So this is the natural watershed. Borders are usually, demarcated that way. They take the natural watersheds and then decide. Okay. So this is McMahon Line, starting from the junction of Bhutan, India and China, right up to Riju Pass or Isu Raja Pass between Burma and India. So we have a big problem here. So this is what is, of course, and this McMahon Line, please remember, is only one portion of the entire, border agreement between Tibet and India agreed upon in that Shimla summit. This is what is McMahon Line. Thank you.